Football 301. I'm your host, Nate Tice. I'm joined by Charles McDonald, Mr. Forverts, and we're coming to you right after Sunday Night Football. It's time for the late hit. Well, Mr. Rodgers, we see you again. The Steelers win 26-24 over the Baltimore Ravens and a very, very entertaining fourth quarter that ends with a little heartbreak as a field goal missed by Tyler Loop to the right after he had the offense move him to the middle after they were on the left hash, which I thought was ironic. But how you doing, Chuck? Good to see you. We saw you a couple hours ago, but good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. It was a lot happened in the final 3 minutes of that game, 4 minutes of that game, because it made up for, there was a lot of slop going into it. And then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, wait, Lamar, Aaron Rodgers. No, this is fun. It looks good. Even though Lamar is obviously still not healthy as he's getting run down by 300-pound defensive tackles and stuff like that. I mean, just an incredible way to finish that game. And then you get Lamar at whatever percent he's at, 70%, 65%, the dime to Likely, who makes a great grab, and then the kicker just get him out of the game. I don't know. That's not how that said. I don't know.
It was Lamar, it felt like the superhero play to Zay Flowers was kind of that was the exclamation point. Hey, he mustered enough to split the two defenders after the Ravens botched another protection. Uncourt points to Zay Flowers, goes for it, hits the touchdown. And then Kenneth Gainwell scores. The Steelers march down. I'll admit Aaron Rodgers had a couple really nice throws. One to Adam Thielen, one to Freiermuth up the middle. You can see it. It's always in 2-minute drills or desperation. Hopefully we get to see it for a whole playoff game. But Gainwell goes ahead on a touchdown. And I'm just even going through my notes. So this is just hilarious. Because I kept thinking that, okay, this is the game. Little play I'll break down. Okay, no, this will be the play I'll break down. Okay, no, this will be the play I break down, because it just kept every new play just kept happening. Zay Flowers has another go-ahead touchdown on a really cool design. Tackle over, bunch of people into the boundary, fake toss, everyone against the grain. I think Jalen Ramsey got a little, his nose, they were playing tight. And I think he got a little, he got caught looking in the backfield, and then it was all right. I think then the Calvin Austin touchdown. Oh my God! I think Patrick Queen was all the way over there. Everybody was.
They had 4 guys in the boundary. All the way over. The running birds, bro. Back way.
My note on that was, it's as simple as football gets. Put a lot of bodies over here and make them run over there, and then fake it going over here. It's really what it was. I love that design. I thought that was. Hey, wow, that was a great hero design, great play, everything, perfect situation to do it, 3rd and 1. Then the Calvin Austin touchdown. Stutter and go. You know he's going to take the one-on-one when they're in trips. And Awuzie got targeted a whole bunch. 7 targets, 6 receptions, gave up 69 yards and a touchdown. Rodgers kept peppering him. I got a story about that later. Nate Herbig had some moments, big moments. Then we got a Keaton Mitchell big return. You mentioned the Isaiah Likely 4th down. And then it ends with Tomlin beating his chest and blowing kisses.
That was perfect.
At the end, which was exactly Mike Tomlin. Yeah. And then the Kyle Hamilton injury was a big thing for the Ravens. Got a little stat about that. But I was just wanting to run by everything that happened, because I'm just still kind of catching my breath, because it's just a new thing kept happening every 2 minutes.
Yeah, I was just stunned at how quickly the pace picked up in this game towards the end. And it was just cool. Even though the Ravens didn't close the game out, it's cool to see that, dude, even Lamar in this diminished state is one of the best players in the league. Even when, he's kind of forcing it and he's pressing and he's not 100%, obviously, he can still go out and make those throws in the fourth quarter that you need. I mean, that was really an incredible performance. All the efficiency numbers, really from his last couple of starts, his efficiency numbers are pointing back up to where you need to be, even though you're visually seeing him not be healthy. So for me, I'm kind of looking at that as a semi-positive, because we did see him. I know it's been forgotten to time, but we did see him this season, the first month of the season. He had MVP caliber stats. And then in a diminished role, he's still putting up some really MVP caliber efficiency numbers, even though he's obviously not the same player. That should give you a lot of hope for next year. If you can just get healthy, you could be back to having a great offense, and then you're seeing what happens in the draft. Man, that was a great game. The one of the plays that got me excited but frustrated as a Dogs fan was the Malachi Starks drop pick, because he saw it so fast, and he turned around. And what impressed me out, like, as he turned around, he tracked the ball better than Valdez-Scantling did, because he beat him to the spot. Like, he's kind of cutting down, and not the hardest thing to do, because he's cutting down, and MVS is still running north, but he's like just missed it out his fingertips. Like, man, and that's what it always is with them. They're so close to like these big plays all the time. They couldn't get it done, and tonight just to have it end on a kicker, that sucks. But they need to rest. Like, they need a first round pick that's not in the 20s. They need to get healthy, because I think if they have a solid offseason and they can turn that high draft capital into something useful, they could be right back in the Super Bowl race next year. Like, they have Lamar Jackson.
Yeah. They have Lamar. I mean, 2-time MVP, not by accident, and could have won a third. Like, there's a reason for that. Like, even that's the thing about Lamar, is that, yes, incredible athlete, one of the best athletes I've ever seen at any position in football. I don't think I'm outlandish in saying that. And it's always been, he's been such a better thrower in the pocket, throwing over the middle, throwing with kind of his own touch that he puts on, because he puts so much pace on the ball, but it's just, he has a great way of making it catchable. And it's been cool to see that this is the fewest times that he's run on design runs. He's scrambling less. He's a little bit less efficient, but he's still like more solid, still good, but not outlandishly good, like not on top of the charts like we've seen in the past. But it's cool to kind of just see those moments where he is throwing and doing kind of just more ad lib. He's scrambling to throw more. Maybe that's the best way I can put it, as opposed to scrambling to scramble. And I think that's kind of cool that maybe it makes me optimistic about how he will age, because, that's always a worry. The worst cases are Russell Wilson. We've seen others in the past. That's just a recent case. Rodgers is a case of it, more than people realize. His last year in Green Bay onwards, he uses athleticism more than people ever realize. But no, it's just it. Even when this team hasn't been perfect, or just always one step behind, or just as one thing gets shored up, the defense figures out something, Kyle Hamilton gets hurt. Or the offense figures something out. Like I talk about the I formation runs, the run game's getting going after being so inefficient for most of the year. And then now Lamar is playing at 70%. And that's just, it's just like they just were just always damned this year, because maybe just of injuries and just maybe because of just an incomplete team. But like you said, look how the AFC playoffs are right now. It's not like I look at all the teams and go like, wow, there's just 10 juggernauts. It's more like, wow, there's some teams that are all just one or two things away, including the Ravens.
Yeah. I think the one area, I think if I was a Ravens fan, I think the one area I'd be most frustrated tonight is he ran the ball so well all game until the fourth quarter, like, or not, like they had their moments where they were able to run the ball well, but then in the fourth quarter, they went from, 23 carries from, yeah, a lot of third downs, but they had 23 carries for 132 yards in the first 3 quarters of the game. And in the fourth quarter, they had 4 carries for 5 yards, I believe, on design runs. So, yeah, that's not really going to cut it. 0% success rate in the fourth quarter when you did have the lead at certain points. That's tough. So they're probably looking at offensive line stuff in the offseason. Shoot, maybe even another running back. I don't know if like this late season Derrick Henry run that changes your opinion on that, but they still need to get offensive line help regardless. And honestly, shout out to the Steelers for kind of shutting that down and making it a little bit one-dimensional, although Lamar still did do Lamar things as a passer in that fourth quarter. Like you did, you did put their hands behind their back a little bit. So I guess the big thing for the Steelers, you get DK Metcalf back, which obviously you desperately need that to happen for you to have any success in the playoffs. And that is a game changer. We'll see what happens with them. But man, they just keep snaking by. Another 10-win Tomlin season, baby. 10-win Tomlin.
It really is impossible. It's unbelievable. Not only DK Metcalf, Darnell Washington's the other one. He has a broken arm, so he's officially over. Never mind. That's another one that's like you can kind of feel him not there. But I don't know. The Steelers' offense still has moments. But even like tonight, okay, this was our stat from our friend Keegan Abdu from Next Gen Stats. So Ravens defense, when Kyle Hamilton was on the field, 3.9 yards per play, 36% success rate, negative 0.27 EP per play. That's on 38 snaps. Then on 35 plays without Kyle Hamilton, 6.9 yards per play. So that's 3 yards more, 60% success rate. Jeez, so that's a big jump. And then 0.44 EPA per play. And that makes sense. This is a team that started playing a lot more sub packages. And then Alohi Gilman was a great ad by them. But when one of them gets hurt, then just a house of cards that falls. And that's that kind of sums up the Ravens. Steelers, though, play the Texans. I believe they play Monday night, which I believe will be the game I'll be recapping. So, any brief thoughts on that right now? With the Steelers, I mean, they need DK, but then they got Derek Stingley. It's kind of the Steelers have struggled against man coverage, and the Texans can thrive in man coverage. So there's my preview. I know we'll talk more about it, but just initial thoughts.
Texans got really good DBs. The Steelers have a good receiver who will be back. So we'll see what happens. I mean, that's tough, man. That's a tough one to go to because that's a defense is capable of smothering even the best quarterbacks. I'll never forget, the Chargers game last year when Herbert was on his Superman all season, and then they walk into Houston and get absolutely splattered in the wild card round. And really, there was just nothing you could do, man. It was that's what a defense with a bunch of first round picks. When you hit on all of them, that's kind of what that looks like. So good luck. I'm interested to see what plan they have for the Texans offense, but man, DK kind of needs to go Julio Jones mode to pull that one out against that defense, I think.
Yeah, that's really, and Tomlin magic went on special teams, I guess. That's just kind of what you have to win. That's how they have to win. I mean, Rodgers today pushed the ball a few times where it was actually encouraging, where it was nice to see, but it's just that they can maybe run on them a little bit. We'll get more into it. I don't want to spoil all of our preview. But just having to see, I have one note I would say because I just thought this was so funny. This was kind of how dire the Steelers kind of passing attack is as far as their weapons. They were in 989 on third down with Calvin Austin against Nate Wiggins when he was out there. So I've talked about this before. 989 is a we have dudes play. And it's just very funny to go, Calvin Austin, Nate Wiggins. Yeah, I like my matchup. It didn't work, of course. I don't know. That was just yep, that's the Steelers. That's kind of the Steelers this year. But no, yeah. I don't know. It's, yeah, I don't know. Any closing thoughts?
Nope. I'm excited for the playoffs to start, though. We'll talk more about this one because I just don't want to sit here and say, oh wow, they have no chance. But because I got to think about it more.
No. Might be some a thread to pull at, as we like to do. And then we'll talk more Ravens over the upcoming weeks. We'll want to do something where we look forward to some of these teams that are eliminated and kind of what their big picture plans are. I don't know. The Ravens are interesting. They have pick 14 right now. That's kind of in the line range.
They could use that 14th pick. Yeah,
I know. And I mean, again, we talk about it with the Bucs. It's good. That's the linebacker range too. That's when that starts. Kind of linebacker after Avril Reese. So interesting class for them. They need it. They need some juice. There's some teams right now that need it. That's kind of the right range for this draft. Not a ton of elite blue chip guys, but a lot of good green chip guys. A lot of good. So yeah, it'll be fun to talk about. Me and you will be talking plenty. I think we have a mock draft this week. So, all right, Steelers play Texans in the wild card. Schedule has been released. You saw it here if you're watching the version on YouTube. But Charles and I got together earlier. We did 3 highs, 3 lows. Interesting weekend. Talk about the AFC South, whatever the hell they are. Panthers moving on despite losing. Sure, that's how it works. Seahawks defense looking dominant. AFC South. Jaguars, Texans with some nice performances. You talked about little Riley Leonard, but Chuck and I went live on YouTube to react to all that week 18. It was a lot of fun. You can listen to that right after the break. See you guys in a sec.